A lot of people ask me, why are you rolling out fiber in townships? And my answer is because it's profitable. Yes, we are helping kids do their homework online. And yes, we are connecting children to the world's best teachers. And yes, we are unlocking economic opportunity, unlocking entertainment, and basically bringing better government. But those are not the primary reasons for township fiber. There is only one sustainable way to bring internet to townships, and that is to make a profit. So, how is township fiber profitable? And if it's so profitable, why has nobody else done it? My partners and I have a theory. It's a crazy theory. Our theory is that everyone in the world wants uncapped home fiber, even the poorest of the poor. And they're willing to pay for it as long as they can afford it. The trouble is that no one has ever tested this theory. And the reason this theory hasn't been tested is that economics of township fiber only makes sense at scale. In other words, the only way to bring down the retail price of fiber is if you build a really big network. The bigger your network, the lower you can make your retail rates. Why is that? Because the majority of the cost of building a fiber network is a sunk cost. In other words, it costs the same to build and maintain 1 kilometer of fiber, no matter whether you have 1 person or 10,000 people using that fiber. Of course, if you assume 10,000 people will use the fiber, you can charge a much lower retail price than if only 1 person uses it, and you'll still make the same profit without affecting performance. Now, why is performance not affected? Because fiber has virtually infinite capacity. Fiber optic cables transport packets of data literally at the speed of light, so there's no bottleneck. Once the fiber is installed, it's a sunk cost. Every rand of revenue you create drops to the bottom line, which is why fiber is perfect for densely populated areas like townships. For every 1 home in a typical leafy suburb in South Africa, there are at least 13 homes in a typical township, sometimes as many 40 homes. But it costs the same to run fiber down a 100-meter stretch of road, regardless of whether there are 1 or 13 or 40 homes. Fiber is the answer for super cheap, super fast internet in townships. But it comes back to economies of scale. Go big or go home. We started with the assumption that there will be at least 1 million township home fiber customers in South Africa. Now that's a lot of homes, but it's only 6% of the estimated 17 million homes in South Africa, of which 14 million are in townships. Since Vumatel launched in 2015, the fiber sector has exploded into a 50 billion rand industry with approximately 3 million homes passed. It did that with the basic model of running fiber past homes in leafy suburbs and then waiting for customers to call and order a router, pay an upfront fee, and sign on for a monthly debit order. South Africa has 17 million homes. If 3 million homes have already been passed, that means 14 million homes do not have fiber, which means we have less than 20% market penetration, which means there is a market opportunity of more than 200 billion rand that is untapped. The homes that don't have fiber are in townships. Those homes can't afford an upfront fee and can't pay via debit order. And yet, every single one of the people living in those homes would love home fiber. So why don't they have it? The problem is not the fiber. The problem is the business model for providing fiber. It's no good selling fiber in a township like Tembisa in Johannesburg if no one can afford the upfront connection fee. It's no good selling fiber in Tembisa if it's too expensive. It's no good selling fiber in Tembisa if you insist on a minimum purchase of 100 rand. What we're doing is introducing a new business model for providing fiber so that we can unlock an entirely new market of customers. We call it the 7 secret sauce. First, we started with the assumption that there will be at least 1 million township homes that are willing to pay for fiber, which let us set a low retail price of 5 rand for 24 hours uncapped fiber. That is a remarkably low price point, but it generates financial returns greater than traditional leafy suburb fiber. Second, we use time-based billing. We don't charge per meg or per gig. Consumers don't know how to measure data consumption, which is why they've lost trust in mobile operators. We charge in time. We sell you fiber time. During your fiber time, you can use as much data as you like, uncapped. Third, we charge per device, not per router. What that means is that when you redeem a voucher, we authorize the MAC address of the device only, which means we can sell multiple vouchers per home depending on how many devices are in the home. Not only does that generate more revenue for our homes connected, but it also allows the user to move from location to location. Fourth, we use aerial fiber only, which reduces our cost per home connected to 2,500 rand, including the cost of the router. Remember, we are talking about homes connected. The traditional leafy suburb fiber industry talks about homes passed. they still have to connect the house with a fiber and a router. We connect the home on day one. And by the way, there's nothing new about aerial fiber. In the old days, Telkom called it airline technology, and that's how they strung up the telephone poles in the suburbs. It's simply the cheapest way to deploy telecoms infrastructure. If you don't believe me, go visit Japan. World's fastest internet, all aerial fiber. Fifth, we install a router at the home at no charge. That means only one truck roll. No need to send teams back to connect houses, no stressing about setup, no stressing about passwords. Sixth, we have ubiquitous Wi-Fi coverage in homes and streets, all with the same SSID. What that means is that you can take your device and your fiber time and move anywhere in the neighborhood, inside or outside, without having to reconnect. And now, for the seventh secret sauce, we sell vouchers on a pay-as-you-go basis. Allowing people to buy fiber time in small bite-sized chunks is the key to generating revenues. Most people living in townships have money. They just don't have spare money, so they can't commit to a big upfront fee. That's why we use Vulocoin, a blockchain wallet that lets people buy, sell, and transfer tiny bits of fiber time. That's the 7 secrets sauce for Township Fiber. Now to the numbers. Bear with me, I am an accountant. When we built our financial models, they showed we needed 60% take-up rate in townships in order for us to be as profitable as your typical leafy suburb fiber network, for example, Vumatel in Parkhurst. Since going live in Kayamandi in September, we've reached a 240% take-up rate. That is 4 times more than what we needed. If that continues, then we've proven Township Fiber is much more profitable than leafy suburb fiber. Who knew? It wouldn't have been possible if we didn't use an internet service provider like PayGozo that is 100% focused on selling pay-as-you-go airtime, fiber time, and understands how to engage the community and keep build costs to an absolute minimum. And in turn, PayGozo uses Vulocoin, otherwise they can't collect money in townships. PayGozo plus Vulocoin equals profitable Township Fiber. There is a great book to read by Clayton Christensen called The Prosperity Paradox. One of the chapters talks about how Henry Ford revolutionized the car industry. Up until 1908, all car manufacturers assumed the only market for cars was rich people. So they built accordingly and they priced accordingly. Henry Ford had another idea. He had a vision that every man and woman in America would one day drive a car. The only thing stopping them was affordability. So he built the world's biggest car factory and made the Model T, the world's first mass production car. Ford would go on to become one of the largest and most profitable companies in the world, and the rest is history. Ford didn't invent a new car. He invented a new business model for cars. That's what we're trying to do. We have a vision that there is an entirely new market for fiber that's just dying for the internet. That's what gave birth to the 7 secret sauce for Township Fiber, an entirely new business model born out of a vision to create an entirely new market, the Kayamandi Fiber Project.